Commandos are defined by their spirit. The spirit to hold yourself to the highest standard and to be able to quickly respond and adapt to challenges that lay ahead. Above all else, it's rising to that challenge with cheerfulness and determination.
Norway 75 is a 2,000-mile journey by bike and sea kayak throughout the length of Norway. And it's all about bringing a small, diverse team of Royal Marines together to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the Telemark raids, to retell other heroic stories of World War II commando operations, and to raise money for the Royal Marines charity and the efforts they undertake to support good mental health.
As a Royal Marine, we do have that special relationship with the Norwegians, and that was really born out of World War II.
There's so many untold stories and so many acts of heroism and bravery. The history is so rich out there, so that's going to be a huge part of what we're doing out there, not only the physical aspect of it, but retelling these raids that have happened.
So the route starts on the Norwegian-Russian border, some 500 kilometres into the Arctic Circle, and essentially handrails the majority of the Norwegian coastline before moving inland to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the Telemark raids in the Hardangervidda National Park. The key thing that we need to nail as a team is actually getting time on the water and getting time in the kayaks, because that's where the unknown is, that's where the risk is, because weather can change so quickly and the water conditions in northern Norway can be pretty extreme. We've now got a 4-day drive up to the Norwegian-Russian border, which is going to be an epic in itself. I think we're all excited, we're all ready to go, and I think everyone just wants to get underway with the challenge. Norway 75 is finally beginning, 16 months in the planning. Just over there, you can see the Russian border.
I don't think we fully appreciated how harsh summer can still be in the northern part of Norway.
Still air temperature is around about 4 to 5 degrees, but with the wind chill added on, it's going as low as 1.5 degrees. Obviously it's mid-June, but we are inside the Arctic Circle, so I suppose it's going to be cold.
We've just finished 550k on the bikes over 4 days. The challenge that we've got ahead of us is to paddle for 40 miles down into the location of Operation Source. So we're about 25% of the way through the first day of our paddle into Kafjord, which is the commemoration of Operation Source, which was the mini submarine raid to disable the German battleship Tirpitz.
Behind me here is where the ex-submarines came into the fjord and then moved down to find Tirpitz, which was moored a bit further down the fjord.
Unfortunately, due to tragic losses, mechanical failures, only 2 of the submarines made a successful run at the Tirpitz, which they actually knocked out for 6 months. And this was a key strategic win for the Allies. Lee Waters, being a former Royal Marine, now sea kayak guide, joined us about 5 days into the journey. And he left us about a week and a half from the end.
I left the Royal Marines, and the Royal Marines charity helped my transition by paying for me to become an Iskaga guide.
Getting Lee out there was excellent on a number of accounts. Also reaffirms why we're doing this for the charity, and to understand how effective the charity are at supporting people after their time in the Corps. Seeing that in what Lee's capable of doing now is really encouraging.
I thought I was bulletproof up until the point I got shot on operational tour, and then very quickly realised that actually no, I'm very fragile like every other human that walks this earth. And going out and discovering sea kayaking, it gave me a means of clearing my thoughts, getting out in the wild and just feeling free, feeling alive again. Coming out here, it's been an amazing experience. It's been breathtaking, to say the least.
It's raining again.
Pretty grey, overcast. There's some amazing scenery, but we can just see cloud.
The standout feature of Operation Martin was the epic escape and evasion of its only survivor, Jan Balsrud, who was a Norwegian commando. His endeavour from the coast of Norway all the way through to trying to escape the Germans and into Sweden was a never-ending tale of local support and quite unbelievable survival in some pretty harsh conditions.
81 persons helped him. They were not asked to help Jan. They did it. He was a guest, as they said. And when they get a guest in Troms, they help them with food and bed. Special people up here.
Every single time that you stop and you revisit the history of the commandos that were there before us, back in World War II, completely puts everything into perspective.
We'd all sort of read what we could in books and seen films and documentaries, but nothing can prepare you for that human aspect of those stories.
And the sun is out.
I'm a bit nervous.
Why?
I'm just gonna get loads of sunburn now. Not used to this.
I think everyone is massively enjoying the heat as we move further south, but we're already missing the 24-hour sunlight that we had so much of in northern Norway. It's pretty unique waking up at 2 a.m. in the morning to blue skies and sun.
I know this person.
Hello, Tim, how are you?
Pip joined us for a week to help add diversity to the team, to provide a different perspective on things, but above all else, to help share what our story is all about.
Pip was an absolute breath of fresh air to have her along for a week. Just brought a different dynamic to the team. Somebody who's obviously non-military and just thinks about things and does things in a different way.
I'm in so much pain. These guys are amazing. Literally pushing me up the hill because my legs have gone to jelly.
In September 1943, 10 British commandos and 2 Special Operations Executive Agents infiltrated northern Norway via submarine, crossed the Svartesen Glacier, which is a formidable piece of land, with an objective to destroy the German-controlled Glomfjord power plant, which was powering the Luftwaffe aluminium production. Outside of actually following the footsteps of those commandos on the water by kayaking into northern Norway, we also crossed the Svartesen Glacier as those commandos did. This was a stark reminder of some of the challenges they faced.
Come across this steep terrain. September would have been similar to this. They'd also been carrying fairly big packs with explosives, detonators, their own personal weapons, ammunition, and radio equipment.
After the walk up the glacier and before the operation down in Glomfjord, 12 commandos bivvied up under this rock for 2 nights, making their final preparations before they went down the hill and actually conducted the raid on the hydroelectric power station.
Here's the monument that stands today for the guys who carried out this operation, the 12 guys, of which 1 was killed during the operation, 7 were executed following their capture after the operation, and only 4 of them managed to escape.
So we're taking the boats down to the shore for the last paddle of Norway 75.
It's about making the crossing from Molde further south, across the island chains, across the deep fjords, before we move inland to commemorate the 75th anniversary of Operation Countryside.
So we've just rerouted for the last week to try and do an amazing climb called the Trollstigen, which John has just done, as you can see. However, the weather is absolutely gipping and we can't see a thing.
It's like when you're in the shower and you try and look up at the shower head
it's sort of like that.
I think one of the biggest things that we all learned from the Norwegians was don't rush things, take your time, spend time soaking up the history that we were revisiting, and spend time talking to people, finding out more, and actually opening your eyes to what's around you. The gunner-side operation was a crescendo of the Telemark raids as a whole. And the Telemark raids were the Allied efforts to halt the nuclear weapon development in the local area by the Nazis. This raid was actually carried out by Norwegian commandos to take out the nuclear facilities within the Vemork heavy water plant. Here we actually met a chap called Tor Nikolaisen, and he's a very, very close friend of some of the saboteurs from the Telemark raids. He took us on the route, which is called the saboteurs' route, that they would have taken during the final stages of Operation Gunnerside.
We actually managed to hear these basically first-hand stories from him of what he'd been told by them, and it was told with such passion.
For him to be able to recount very personal stories to us of his experience working with those guys and their very personal responses to him as well, that was pretty special, I think, for all of us.
We're walking across the bridge now, over the gorge from the Vemork heavy water plant, and this was, I guess, it's the end of the last commando raid that we cover, and it's been an incredible journey.
The standout thing from this trip, it echoes what the saboteurs and those who escaped during World War II, the hospitality of the Norwegian people and that Anglo-Norwegian relationship is still really strong to this day.
The Norwegian people are absolutely incredible. I was really bowled over by their kind of warmth and support for what we were doing. They couldn't do enough for us. They would readily give up their time.
They're so willing to share their home, their food, their time and their stories with you.
I hope what we've achieved for the charity has been positive, not only monetarily, but also in the awareness that we've raised back in the Royal Marines, because it's very easy for us still in the Royal Marines to forget about these issues and the guys who've gone away, but also, arguably more importantly, outside of the Royal Marines, and mental health as a wider issue, not just an issue within the Corps.
I've been in the Corps a long time now, and I've unfortunately seen people go through hard times due to operations and other issues within the Corps, and the charity is there to support them, not only with physical injuries, but obviously with the mental health side of the charity as well. Raising money for that charity is very important to all of us in the team, and that was one thing that always kept us going.
We had a number of objectives that we wanted to hit with Norway 75. And I think we've achieved all of them and more. And I think, to highlight but a few, we've had an incredible time building relationships all across Norway. I think that we've been able to retell a huge amount of history from World War II that is so pertinent to us as Royal Marine Commandos. And also the fact that we've been raising awareness for the Royal Marines charity and the efforts they undertake to support good mental health. And so I hope that we can keep building upon those in the next couple of months, hopefully in the next year and beyond, by keeping this history alive and keeping this experience alive.